Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about Lightning Web Component. So this is the first session of that. So let's start with a quick introduction about the Lightning Web Component. So Lightning Web Component is basically a new programming model in Salesforce, which is using a HTML and the modern JavaScript. As well as we can include the CSS, and also we are having one of the file called XML, which is nothing a configurable file where we are mentioning that we want to expose this component. If yes, then where we want to expose. For example, we can expose to the record page, lightning tabs, lightning pages, as well as we can expose to the communities and the home pages. So basically this is the, we can say, a file structure as well. So let's start with a quick demo. So let me start from a scratch folder so we can understand what is the procedure to create a folder as well. And before starting that, we required a Visual Studio, as well as we required an extension called Salesforce extension pack. So this also we need to install. So it will install Salesforce extension pack. So in that we are having many other extensions which is required to write a Lightning Web component. So I already installed. So it's giving me an option like a disable and uninstall. But when we install very first time, it will provide an option called install. So let me create a new folder. So in order to create a new folder, we need to press Ctrl Shift P in Windows, and here we can see first option, create project with manifest. Just click on that. It will take few seconds to install as it took some time to activate the extensions. So let's wait for few seconds. All these steps I will add to the description as well, so you guys can go through and install if not installed yet. So as the extensions are loaded, and it's prompt me an option called standard, empty, and analyze. So standard, we are going to create always standard. Here we just need to provide a folder name. So generally what I'm doing is I'm just providing the date of, so I can go every day and just create a folder. So I'm having that backup as well. So let me create that. So I'm having one folder here. Just click on create project. So here the project is created, and here we can see we got few options here. So here we are having two very important folders. One is manifest, another one is for sale. So here we can see few folders are created. So these folders are created based on this package.xml. So here we can see Apex classes, component pages, and similar way we are having here Lightning component bundle, as we are going to cover this topic here. So in order to get more folders here, for example, we want to retrieve the flows and few other things also that we need to mention here. So after creating the folder also, it's taking some time, like few minutes or a few seconds we can say. So let's wait for that. So now we can see our extensions are loaded, and we got an option called no default or set. Now we need to press again Ctrl Shift P, and here we can see authorize and or. So here we are getting few options: project defaults, production, sandbox, and custom. Project default is something if we have made some default option, in that case we can make use that. Otherwise we can see here production. In order to access the developer edition of Salesforce or a production on, we can use this option. If you want to add a sandbox, in that case we need to give this, select the sandbox. If we are having any custom URL for the login, in that case we can use the custom. Right now I'm using the Salesforce developer edition, so I can select the production. Now I just need to provide a org alias name. So let me give that name and just click on enter. After clicking of the enter, it will prompt me into a browser where I need to provide the Salesforce access. So I can see that I want to, we can say, authorize this. So let me select this one. Now we can see it's authorized, and we can see here a successful message also. I already authorized this one, so it was not asked me to allow the access. But if suppose we are authorizing very first time, in that case, it will ask allow the access into the VS Code. So we just need to click on the allow button. Now let me go to the Salesforce, and now we can see I have provided the nearest dev and it's connected here. Now let me press the Control Shift P and let me create a Lightning Web Components. So just click on that and just provide a component name. So for example, I'm creating first component. So let me provide the component name as first component. Just enter and click that. So now we can see it's installed. It's created here. Right now this folder is created into the local system. Right now it's not present into the Salesforce. Okay, so for example, let me give a name like CRM landing here. I just save this one and let me deploy this. Now we can see this component is deployed successfully. Now let me go. For example, I want to add this component to the account page. So let me go here. In order to add that component to the record page, we need to click on this setup icon. Here we have an option called edit page. Just click on that. Now we can search our component here. For example, this one. So right now we can see our component is not visible here. As I mentioned in earlier also, that in order to use a component, we need to provide that access into the XML file. So first we need enable this component. To enable, we need to give us expose as true, and also here we need to provide some targets. So let me give that target here. I will add a reference URL where we can see all the URLs. Like if you want to use the record page, tabs, or a communities or a home page, that also we can get from. So we can get more details. So for now, I want to use to the record page. I just added that. Let me refresh now. So here I can search my component like first component. So here we can see that first component is here. Now let me place this component here and just click on save. Now I can click on back icon and I will be able to see that component contents. So here we can see that I have entered CRM name. It's here. Now let me go here. So for example, we are having JavaScript file also. So let me create a button here, and on the click of that button, we will call the JavaScript method. Okay. So let me add that one button here. Okay. So for example, let me give a button name as JS code. Okay, and here I provided one JavaScript method called handle code clip. So let me create one method here. Alert. So let me give button click. So now we can see that button is present here. Now let me click on this button and we can see that JavaScript method is clicked and code. Okay, so now, so this is a very basic thing that we can, whatever we know, we can write into the HTML similar way, and also we can create a JavaScript method. So the JavaScript method will be like this. Now here we are having few important things. One of the important thing is decorators. So basically here we are having three decorators: at the rate tray, at the rate AP, at the rate wire. So at the rate rec is the private property, which suppose if we have declared any variable or a method with that decorator, in that case we will be not able to access that variable or method outside the component. Okay, so that we can use like at the rate rec. For example, we want to create a variable, suppose nearest setly, save. So in visual force page we were using this note sign as well, but here we just need to give the curly brackets and the variable name. Now let me click on deploy button. We can see it's deployed successfully. Now let me refresh this. So here we can see that variable value is printed here. Now another one we are having called at the rate AP. At the rate AP is the public property basically. So suppose, so that we can use in two ways. Suppose we have placed our component to the lightning record page and we want to get that page record ID. In that case also we can use. Another thing is, suppose we have declared some method into the child component and we want to go it into the parent. In that case also we can use the at the rate API decorator. So for now let's see how to use the at the rate API for the record ID. So let me, so in order to get the record ID, we need to declare like this at the rate AP and the record ID. It should be the record ID only. We have to give variable name as record ID. So now let me copy this one and let me print here. So now we can see we got the current record ID. So we can see this ID is okay. Now, as I mentioned that we can use at the rate API decorator to get the child method into the parent, that we can see later. So another thing is we are having called at the rate wire. So at the rate wire is something in order to get data from the database. So here we are having two ways to get the data from database. One is through the UI record, another one is through the Apex class. Okay, so for now let's see how to get data through the UI record. Okay, so in order to use that, we need to include one, or we can say we need to import one file called UI record API. So let me, so this one we need to get here. Another one is, suppose for example I want to get the account name. So that we need to give like this. If suppose we want to give get the another fields also, that we can enter, and like that we can provide it. So for now I just want the account name. As we are on account page, I'm going to get the account details. Okay, so first we need to import this UI record API. Another one is we need to import the fields. Okay, so now this how to use the at the rate wire method. So in order to use that, we need to write this kind of code here. So let me explain how it's working. So first I just written the decorator, then I provided the variable name which I have used during the import. Then we need to provide the record ID. It means for that record, we need to get the record. And then we need to give the fields which we want to retrieve. So suppose for now I just want the name. Suppose I want the other fields also, that I can provide as a comma set. Now whatever result will come, it will come to the wired record and it will go to the error and data. Suppose during the fetch, if suppose we'll get any error, it will come to the error. If we are not getting any error and we got the record successfully, in that case it will come to the data. So now I just put a few conditions here. If data is having the values, in that case it will come inside and just assign that value to the record. Right? If suppose any error, in that case it will come to the else if part and it will assign here. Okay. Now as all the things are working on the load only, so it will take few seconds to retrieve the data from database. So that's the reason we can't use directly this variable to the LWC component. So what I have done is I have created one get method. So what it will do is it will return the name of account. Okay. So in order to use this, we need to write this piece of code. So here we can see we just provided the if true. It means it's a conditional operator. Basically, we can say if true means if this record having some value, in that case only it will go inside. If not, then it will not go inside. Then as I mentioned, I created one getter method. So that getter method name is name. So it will get the value from this variable and it will print here. So I just use here. Now let me save and deploy. Now let me go and just refresh. Now we can see we got the Neeraj as account name is Neeraj. Now let me try to change this name. Now let me change this to Neeraj one. So now we can see that name is updated here. So so basically this is the decorators and how to create the component and the basic things which I have covered in this session. So yeah, thanks for watching.